Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. True Geordie. What an absolute little bitch. Little bitch he is, right? Or a big bitch. Right. For those of you who are watching this video who might not understand why I'm creating it, let's take it back a few weeks. The bloke did a video of Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. He titled it, "Does Tommy Fury Deserve a Jake Paul Fight?" And the video was just absolute nonsense. It was one of the worst boxing takes and opinions I've ever seen. It was just complete inaccurate information off a bloke who just doesn't understand the levels involved with boxing. Doesn't have a fucking clue. Now, he might have fancy cameras and a great studio and great graphic designers, and he might talk with conviction. Doesn't matter, because what he's doing is preying on people who doesn't understand the levels, right, of boxing. That's what he's doing, because people think if he says it with enough conviction, it may be true. I'm telling you, this bloke has absolutely no concept of the levels involved with boxing. I don't give a fuck who was interviewed, who his friends are, how big his profile is. He doesn't understand boxing, right? So I created the video a few days after that. So this was a few weeks ago. Have a look at it. It's on my it's on the YouTube videos. It's titled "My Reaction to True Geordie, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury video." I also mentioned in the video that I'll fight him. We'll box. Put the gloves on. I'm not a pro boxer. I don't have a lot of boxing experience in regards to fighting. I've had a few white collar fights about 12 years ago, right? But I can be a fat slob sometimes. I don't train all the time. I love to spar, love to do pad work. But there's a lot of times where I don't train, right? But I'm a decent boxer. I've got a decent natural ability. I'm around boxing gyms. I'm not a troll who has a picture of a caterpillar when he lives in his mum's basement. I've got a good understanding of boxing. I'm around fighters. I'm in world-class boxing gyms. I watch sparring. So I understand the sport. And I said, I'll fight him. I said, I'll knock him out. No problem. Clipped him in it. And what does he do? He blocks me. On every social, Instagram, Twitter, the whole thing. Right? What kind of man does that? What kind of man blocks someone for having an opinion? And the worst part is, he then does another video claiming he's reacting to all the comments and that he doesn't care. He don't give a fuck. He sees it how he says it, how he sees it, and blah, 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 all this shit. He reacts to comments unless it's Johnny Rashman who puts it on him and offers him out. Then he blocks him. Do you think I'm going to let you silence me? Big mistake, mate. Big mistake. Now, you probably just thought I'd go away. And you might think my following's not as big as yours, so I can just ignore him. My following will grow and grow and grow. I don't need a team around me. I don't need other people helping me. I'll do this myself, mate. My profile will get bigger and bigger because I understand the game. You are just trying to manipulate people because you're in cahoots with all these other YouTubers. You're all getting views, right? And you're trying to detract from what's really going on here, which is the levels involved with boxing. And how you're given a platform, I don't fucking know. Now, fair play, he's created his own platform with different bits of content. But in regards to boxing, oh my God, he knows fuck all. He knows absolutely nothing. Just because he's a big lump and has tattoos means nothing, right? He doesn't understand boxing. Doesn't have a fucking clue. And the fact that he tried to block me, right? Well, he did block me and then put a video out claiming he's reacting to all the comments and blah, blah, blah. If your content wasn't so shit, right, and inaccurate, maybe you wouldn't have such a backlash of comments. Have you ever thought about that? Hey? At this point, he won't care. He's just putting out content to get views and views and views. Now, everyone is entitled to an opinion. Doesn't matter if you're a hardcore fan or you're just watching boxing. But what I strongly disagree with is him making a mockery of the sport. And fighters, in it, legitimate fighters, Tommy Fury or Tommy Fury's last opponent, people who train boxing, who dedicate their lives to the sport. And this big lump, right, comes on and tries to disrespect him. Not happening, mate. So I'm going to give you 4 options, which I will reveal later on in the video. So watch to the end, and I'm going to reveal the 4 options I'm going to give this big lump. Right, so I'm going to react to his latest video where he's claiming he's reacting to the comments. Again, I'm going to disprove all the nonsense he talks. If you want to know about boxing, subscribe to this channel, right? Don't listen to him. He's just trying to manipulate you. That's all he's trying to do. Don't listen to him. He doesn't understand the game, right? So he first starts off with, in the video, he says, "In the past I stopped reading comments, but lately after a bit of work on my mental health, I can read as many as I like. It has no impact on me." Don't bring the mental health card into this, mate. Right? I'm a big advocate for mental health, but I think it's very easy for people to use that card. Don't bring that into it. If you didn't put out shit content, maybe you wouldn't have a backlash of comments, right? So don't be bringing that into it, mate. He then starts off, he then tries to justify his crap fucking take and opinion by saying, I'm one of the only content creators to not shit on Jake Paul non-stop. You can't become a target for people who dislike Jake Paul. And I get it, a lot of people dislike him and therefore they're going to hate on me if I don't dislike him because that's how hate works. It's not logical. Right, okay. This ain't hate. I ain't hating on Jake Paul. I have strong opinions about Jake Paul. If you follow me on social media, you'll see my opinions about him. Now, I'm passionate with my opinions. I don't do hate, right? I always back it up with valid arguments. Now, he tries to say he's the only one of the content creators who doesn't shit on Jake Paul non-stop. I'm one of the only content creators in the boxing game, right, who says it how it is when it comes to Jake Paul, because a lot of them are terrified of losing access to him. They want the views, they want the money that comes with that, they want the attention, the adulation and all this. I don't give a fuck, right? If I interview Jake Paul, if I don't interview him, I don't care. I don't want to interview him. I don't want him on the channel. I'm not interested. I don't depend on him for views. I don't care. I put out content about him to expose his manufactured nonsense where the big media outlets have to play pretend fighter. So when he says, I'm going to be the Muhammad Ali of this year, of this generation, or I'm going to beat Canelo in 3 years, they'll report that, right? And people will believe it. I won't. I will expose it. I'll say, you're not going to fight Canelo in 3 years. You're not the Muhammad Ali of this generation, right? So I am one of the only content creators who says it how it is, right? I don't lick his arse. This big lump, True Geordie, which we're going to change his name after as well, by the way. Later on in the video, I'll reveal that, right? His name's not going to be True Geordie anymore. So, as I say, keep watching because it'll all be revealed. Right, so he's trying to deflect, trying to say, oh, I'm saying this about Jake because I don't shit on him. No. This isn't that, mate, right? We're sick of you trying to manipulate people. You are trying to give out inaccurate information about boxing, about the levels involved. No one's saying don't like the geezer. If he's your mate, fair enough, fair play. But look at it objectively. You're not. You are disrespecting Tommy Fury, completely disrespecting him and the game of boxing, right? Just because you can get views with Jake Paul. We can all see it, mate. We all know it. You lick his arse. That's it. It's embarrassing, mate. Have some pride. Have some fucking respect, mate. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. He then waffles. I knew Jake years ago. I knew him before he became this arrogant YouTuber. You know Jake now. I knew the Jake back then. And I never expected Jake to achieve his dreams and all the YouTubers and KSI, blah, blah, blah. I just like seeing people succeed. No one is saying we don't want people to succeed. Fair play to these guys. Jake Paul, outside of boxing, fair play. He's built his own platform. Fair play. Fair play to True Geordie for building his own platform. The difference is they now think they can come into boxing, impose their views, and think because they've got a platform that what they say is right. It's not. And it was only a matter of time before people in the boxing game said, hold on, we're not fucking putting up with this anymore. We're not putting up with it, right? We're going to expose you. And that's what's going to happen with True Geordie. I'm going to expose this motherfucker. Right. He then says, I know Jake said a lot of things. For some people, they get drawn into the promo chat. For me, it doesn't bother me because I understand the game. You have to sell yourself, and that's what Jake does 99% better than boxers do, because most boxers are not good at it. Some of them are great at fighting, shit at talking, and that's why the kid has gone to the very top immediately. Because he brings numbers and he understands how to play with you lot. McGregor did it all the good ones did it. Hold on. Please don't compare him to Conor McGregor, to Floyd Mayweather, or any other boxers or MMA fighters. Don't do it. The difference with Conor McGregor is he talked and he backed it up. He beat Jose Aldo, right? He beat Eddie Alvarez. He's a 2-time UFC champion. He backed it up. He didn't just come from a different industry, start talking shit, edited a load of videos out, manipulated people, right? Knocked out people who doesn't box, and then claims to be one of the best fighters in the world, an elite fighter, and he's going to be a world champion and all this. No. We understand he's got to sell himself. Well done for stating the obvious. Well done. We can all see that. We all know that. We all understand that's what he's doing. But do not compare him to Conor McGregor, right? Don't do it. He then goes on to talk about why the title of that video was called Does Tommy Fury Deserve a Shot at Jake Paul? He says, it has nothing to do with boxing ability. Here's a quick lesson for some people who should know better because apparently they are the boxing expert. Jake Paul has all the power here. When Jake fights, a lot of people watch, a lot of people care, and a lot of money is spent. Tommy Fury, on the other hand, nobody cares, nobody watches, and no money is spent. Hence why he was bottom of the card of a Tyson Fury fight when it's his own brother fighting. Why do you think Jake Paul was promoting the biggest women's fight? He's able to push people towards an event. Fuck the fighting ability. Are we aware that Jake Paul brings the eyeballs, any opponent will make money off him, and that's what the title was about? Does he deserve it? Has he done enough to warrant it? When in the last fight he lined up with Jake Paul, he did little promo and then pulled out. He had it in the palm of his hands, Tommy, and he blew the opportunity. You might hate Jake Paul, but acknowledge his position of power he's in and stop getting pity with me because I am acknowledging the position he's in instead of just hating on him like a lot of people are. Again, no one is hating on him. No one is saying he's not the A-side, he doesn't bring the numbers. Stop detracting from the boxing, right? Stop detracting it. Why would you want to talk down a fight with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury? Why would you? I'll tell you why. Because you're all in cahoots. It's, oh, we'll put this content out. We'll make people believe that Tommy doesn't deserve the fight. So I'll say this and I'll say that. That's why you should be talking up this fight. You should be saying, I want to see Jake Paul tested. I want to see him fight a professional fighter. It's a ready-made fight. The video, the title was bollocks, right? It's all shite. We all know that is the fight to make. We all know Tommy Fury has a name, right? He has a name. He brings in eyes which aren't boxing fans, the majority of him, right? Because he was on Love Island and you tried to shit on that as well. Hold on. Sorry, does Jake Paul bring boxing eyes? No, he brings different eyes, doesn't he? His following isn't a boxing following, so it's all right for Jake Paul to do, but not Tommy Fury. Stop detracting from it, right? Stop trying to talk down the fight because you know this guy will get fucking knocked out, right? Stop it. Right. This is the funniest. Let's read the comments he claims he's picked out. He cherry-picked comments. The first one, clearly cherry-picked because at the end of the last video he says, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury are of a similar skill level. Hold on. Let me just say that again. This fucking bloke says Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is of a similar skill level. Right. As I said in my last video, if you want to talk big with your big gob and have your fancy video edits and blah blah blah, right? You tell me what similar skill level Jake Paul has with Tommy Fury. You tell me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk facts here, right? Who has a better jab? Who has better footwork? Who's a better combination puncher? Who's better at distance? Who's better at defense? Who's got more power? Who's got a better engine? If we went into that, the majority of it is Tommy Fury. All of it is Tommy Fury. Don't talk to me about power, right? Till Jake Paul fights someone his own weight who is a boxer. I don't care what record, I don't care how many losses, how many wins. Don't talk to me about power, right? Because he's knocking people out who don't box and who are smaller than him. Do you not understand that, right? It's like if I box you, True Geordie, I will knock you the fuck out. You're bigger, you're a lump. I probably weigh 15 stone now. If I fought you, I'd probably be 12 stone. You'd probably be 17 stone. You're a big lump, aren't you? Right? I'd still knock you the fuck out, right? I would knock you the fuck out. You know why? Because I'm a different level to you. Right? So levels matter in boxing. If Jake Paul is fighting a fighter smaller than him and not as good as him, right, and who doesn't box, of course he's going to look good. Of course he can knock him out. I would look like Floyd Mayweather if I boxed True Geordie. I'd look like fucking Floyd Mayweather. If I fought a professional fighter, I wouldn't. I'd get beat. I'd get outclassed. You don't understand the levels, you bum. He then tries to explain himself. I think Tommy's a great opponent for Jake, and it will give him a real test to see where he's at, because Jake has shown certain things Tommy hasn't shown, and Tommy has shown certain things Jake hasn't. In the ring, he's looked okay, but it's not like he's stopping people and being entertaining. Being the first on the card at Wembley with no audience and no one caring, and struggling to get a guy out there who can't throw a decent jab, you've got to give people something to hold on to. Hold on. Right, first of all, right. Let's go back here. You say Jake has shown certain things that Tommy hasn't shown, and Tommy has shown certain things that Jake hasn't. What has Jake shown? What? What, that big elephant overhand right? Do you think a competent boxer would get caught by that? Honestly, right? He caught Tyron Woodley in the 10th round, or was it? Or the 9th round, or whatever it was, in the fight where Tyron Woodley had 2 weeks to prepare. He didn't come to win, as in the first fight, right? What you failed to mention, in the first fight, he took every one of Jake Paul's best shots. So this power that comes from out of space and it's godlike, didn't move him in the fucking first fight, did he? Right? He knocked him out in the second fight because it was the end of the fight, right? And I'm telling you all this now. Tyron Woodley never came to win either fight. He didn't. You watched the first fight back. He had him on the ropes. Jake Paul was blowing like a fish. Looked as red as a lobster. Guard was like that. He was ready to be taken out. Woodley didn't do it. Don't tell me that because it's Tyron Woodley. He's hesitant. He doesn't pull the trigger anymore. Blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't go to finish him because he wanted the rematch. So he didn't. Right? Simple as that. Then the rematch happened. All this talk of a £500,000 knockout bonus. Again, complete absolute bollocks. Right? Absolute bollocks. Did he look like a man who had a £500,000 knockout bonus? Did he? He was hugging at every opportunity. Right? That's all gone quiet. Let's see the contract. Big gobs. You show me a contract where it says Tyron Woodley had a £500,000 knockout bonus in the last Jake Paul fight. You show me it. Again, manipulating non-boxing fans. Unfortunately, there was more non-boxing fans than boxing fans. So these motherfuckers try and prey on them because they know they don't understand the level. So they manipulate their following. That's what they do, right? It's all nonsense. So don't talk to me about power. Don't talk to me about things that Jake Paul has shown. What's he shown? He has no head movement. He has no footwork. He can't even bring his fucking glove back to his chin. Can't do it like that. His body mechanics isn't of a boxer. And rightly so, with the experience he has. He's just come into boxing. Has he improved? Absolutely. I give him respect for getting in the ring. I give him respect for training. But that's it. Don't get it twisted. That's it. By you trying to convince people that he can compete with pro boxers and disrespecting pro boxers, and then you go on to say his opponent, the Polish guy from Spalansky, he says he's not got a decent jab. Oh, this is rich. Tommy Fury struggling to get someone out who can't throw a decent jab. Right. Because all of Jake Paul's opponents have decent jabs, don't they? Right. Tommy Fury made this guy look bad. Right. Granted, he's not a great boxer. He wasn't. Tommy Fury should have took him out, to be quite honest with you. And no one is saying Tommy Fury was going to be a world champion or he's a world-class prospect. They're not. But compared to Jake Paul, he's fucking Floyd Mayweather. Believe me, right? The levels are just ridiculous. He is a professional boxer. He has certain boxing fundamentals. He's been in gyms for years. He knows distance. He knows how to time his shots. He knows how to roll. He knows how to slip. Jake Paul doesn't. He throws a left hand. He lifts his leg up. He's doing the hokey pokey. Oh, the hokey pokey pokey. That's what he's like. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Right. Then he goes, if we were objectively to compare, which is very difficult as Tyron Woodley is a legit threat in the ring of hurting you and the Polish guy wasn't, Tommy Fury's last opponent, if we were to say who showed more boxing technique, you'd probably say Tommy. Would Tommy be able to do that against a legit threat in Tyron Woodley? I don't know. What threat? What threat? He isn't a boxer. Right, Tyron Woodley stands square one, doesn't have a jab, doesn't move his head, stiff as a lump, isn't a boxer, right? You then go on to compare, you then say he's knocked out, Tyron Woodley's knocked out legit badasses, right? And the clip you put up is of him knocking Josh Koscheck out. I love Josh Koscheck. He ain't a striker, he's an MMA wrestler. Right? He's a grappler. That's his background. He's not a striker. Right? Just because he's knocked them out in MMA doesn't mean he's a competent boxer. Tyron Woodley wouldn't beat the guy who Tommy Fury last fought. He wouldn't. Right? Tommy Fury made him look bad because Tommy Fury is actually a boxer. No one is saying that Spalansky's a great boxer. He's not. He's a poor boxer, but he's still a professional fighter. He trains boxing, right? He has certain moves. He was fainting a little bit. He was defending well. He was a bit awkward to catch at times, but he wasn't great. But if you put him in with Tyron Woodley and Tommy Fury in a legit fight where he's not just taking money, that's a fucking life and death fight, and I believe Spalansky wins, right? So stop getting the levels involved. This legit threat in the ring. He's not a boxer. Just like if me and you were to fight, you're going to see the levels involved. I'm not a professional fighter, but I will batter you. I will smash you to pieces. I'll take you out, right? You ain't got the heart. You ain't got the skill, right? I will knock you out, so you need to understand the levels, because you don't understand it. So stop putting that out there. You're talking shit. Legit threat in the ring. He's never had a boxing match. Oh my God. Tyron Woodley was a legit threat in the ring. He was smaller than him, right? And he didn't come to win anyway. That's my opinion. Didn't come to win. Simple as that. Took the money. Had no intention of winning those fights. That's my opinion. Right. And then someone says, look at this comment at the end of it. Belansky would smash all of Jake's opponents without breaking a sweat. Then you go, but that just isn't true. And then put a fucking gif or something. Just because you pull it out in that way, what do you mean? That just isn't true. So Belansky won't beat a fucking YouTuber, a basketball player, right? And 2 retired MMA grapplers. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just unbelievable. Like, literally, the disrespect to Belansky. You go, oh, he looks like a giraffe and all that. You look like a big elephant. I don't think you should be talking about people's appearances, mate. You look like a big fucking elephant. That's what you look like. Like, it's just the way he says it. He says, that's just not true, though. If you watch the video, you'll see. It is true. Belansky would beat every single one of Jake Paul's opponents. Every fucking last one of him. And he'd look like fucking Floyd Mayweather doing it, you bum. Oh, God, it gets worse. He goes, this has just popped into my head. A boxer, not a boxer. Can we just agree that anyone who gets in the boxing ring with a pair of gloves on is a boxer? No, we can't. If I put a pair of football boots on, do I say I'm a professional footballer? Do I say I can compete with Ronaldo and Messi? No, right? So it's not a case of anyone who puts gloves on is a professional boxer. If me and you fight, would I say I'm a professional boxer? No. So again, you're missing the lines. There's the disrespect of the levels involved with boxing. Clearly, you haven't been around in many boxing gyms. Clearly, you haven't. I can tell that by the way you talk shy and just the way you talk about boxing. You have no understanding of the levels involved. You don't. So no, we're not saying they're a boxer, right? There's white collar shows. You probably don't know what that is. A white collar show is like an unlicensed fight where anyone can do it. Right? That's what Jake Paul is, a white collar fighter. Till he fights professional fighters, he's a white collar fighter. Not MMA grapplers, professional boxers. But even legitimate MMA strikers, I'd take. Go and fight Anderson Silva. Won't fight him, really. Daren't call his name out. He was saying the other week he needs to see how his next fight does and all that. This is one of the greatest fighters of all time. If he can fight Ben Askren, again, contradicting himself, he can fight Anderson Silva, can't he? Won't mention his name, will he? Right. He then says, Tommy Fury getting in the ring with that Polish guy who beat a bunch of farmers, check the record, versus Jake Paul fighting an MMA world champion who knocked out legit badasses, and you're telling me Jake Paul isn't a boxer and Tommy Fury is. You're all talking shit, quite frankly. And this isn't because I give a fuck about Jake Paul or Logan Paul, it's because I say it how I see it. I'm not saying Tyron Woodley's a good boxer, but he's more of a threat than a Polish guy ever could be in his wildest dreams. Right. What are you talking about? Oh my God, he's more of a threat than that Polish guy could be. Oh my God. What, a guy who's never boxed before? A guy who's never boxed before literally stands square one. Right? Doesn't even stand side on. Doesn't even have a boxing stance. Oh my God, you don't have a fucking clue. He wouldn't beat that Polish guy. Tyron Woodley wouldn't beat that Polish guy in a fight. And if he did fight, it would be an unbelievably competitive fight. Right? I think Belansky would take him out. So again, you don't understand the level. So you're talking shit, you absolute little bitch. Right. Then he says, the truth of the matter is, whether you Tyson Fury, Prince Nassim, Anthony Joshua, all of the greats, look at their first 10 fights. You'll be lucky if you know who the fuck they are, any of the opponents. Because anyone who makes it into boxing usually has been well looked after early on. You slowly increase the level of opposition. You want them to learn in the gym without being in too much danger early doors while you're still learning. And the real test comes later on. That's what every boxer is going through. For anyone out there pointing the finger at Tommy or Jake saying, fight this fighter or that fighter, it's going to come. I don't think it's fair to expect Jake Paul, after learning boxing for 3 years, to be fighting 15-0 cruiserweights. Ben Askren is a pile of shit in the boxing ring, I agree, just the same way the Polish guy who Tommy thought was a pile of shit. Polish guy's probably a bit better, barely though. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's what we're talking about. No, we're not. Again, talking shit. How dare you compare Ben Askren, that fat slob, right, to an actual professional boxer? Now, Ben Askren is the MMA grappler. Ultimate respect for him. Tough as nails. World-class MMA fighter, right? Horrendously bad striker. Violently bad with his hand. I've never seen a bloke just completely bad. Just that bad with his hand. Horrendously bad. And you're trying to say he's on the same level as this Belansky? Oh my God. Like, you have no fucking clue. In the video of this Tommy Fury and Jake Paul one, True Geordie tries to slow down a bit where Belansky hits Tommy Fury, hits him with a right hand as Tommy Fury's coming in. Yes, Tommy Fury is very raw and he's got a lot of things he's got to work on. We're not saying he doesn't, right? He does. He's got things he's got to work on. But oh my God, you get hit in boxing. Just because you get hit doesn't mean anything. This fucking bloke tried to say, well, if you got hit by this guy, if someone like with Jake's power, it makes it interesting. He's got to be careful. Oh my God. Like, let me tell you something, big gob, right? You go and watch Jake Paul and Ben Askren, because you ain't telling this. You're only giving one view here, all about Tommy Fury. You're not delving into Jake Paul's boxing ability. All right, you might have said on one, and you might have briefed over it for a couple of seconds. You said Jake Paul didn't look great in the Tyron Woodley fight, which he fucking didn't. He looked worse, right? But that's it. You don't break down things like you do with Tommy Fury now. You're trying to disrespect and manipulate your followers, right? What's the first Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight? I can't show it on there. I'll get done for copyright. If you want to look into things, look into this. You didn't pick this up, did you? Jake Paul comes out, right? First 20 seconds, he throws a lazy left hook, right? Ben Askren rolls under it and counters him, right? I think he's with a right hand. Rolls under and counters him. Swear to God, this is Ben Askren, the worst striker you'll ever see in your life. And he literally rolls under and counters him. So if Ben Askren can do that, what do you think Tommy Fury would do, you fucking idiot? Oh my God, just the manipulation that's going on here. I'm not putting up with it anymore. These motherfuckers can get it. Because I'm fucking sick of all of them trying to come from different industries, and because they think they have a following, they can talk shite and shite and shite. It's utter nonsense, right? You don't understand boxing. You don't have a clue. Not a clue. At the end of the video, you then say you're trying to understand boxing and you're learning the craft of fighting. You're learning nothing, mate. You don't understand the fucking sport. You didn't disrespect Tommy Fury when you had John Fury on your podcast, did you? You were licking arse then, weren't you, mate? Honestly, it's just a nonsense. Right, so as I said earlier on in the video, I'm going to give the guy 4 options, but first, we're going to change his name, right? His name isn't True Geordie. That's not his name anymore. His name is Baby Geordie, because he gets upset if someone debates with him or has a difference of opinion, so we just block him, but we'll react to comments that I can pick. So your new name is Baby Geordie. Hashtag Baby Geordie. I want every single person, right? Every single person to hashtag Baby Geordie. Now what I'm going to do, because he's blocked me, you won't see this video, right? So I want everyone to download clips and tag him in it, right? Hashtag Baby Geordie as well. If you don't know how to download clips, DM me on my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. DM me and I will give you the clips. I've got them downloaded. All you've got to do is just upload them on your social media and then tag him, right? Tag him and tag him and tag him in it, right? Because this motherfucker needs to know that we've had enough now. Now, many boxing outlets won't give the true opinion because their job is to get the fighters' opinions. Your job isn't to give their opinion. And that's fair enough, right? My outlet isn't about that. It's all about opinions, whether it's mine, whether it's the fighters, whether it's the fans, whoever. It's all about opinions. And these guys are getting exposed because I'm fucking sick of it. They're all in cahoots with each other. They're all little bitches, right? And they just think they can make a mockery of the sport that we love, that fighters give everything to. I'm around fighters, right? So you can't just dismiss me as a troll, right? You go and ask Joe Gallagher, ask Steve Mailer, ask Anthony Crolla, ask Pat Barrett. They know who I am. I go in their gym. I watch sparring regularly, right? They know who I am. I bet True Geordie don't know who they are because you don't understand the fucking game whatsoever, right? So I have a bit of credibility, right? I'm friends with many boxing coaches. I'm friends with fighters. I see what they go through. When I go in a professional boxing gym, No one talks about Jake Paul because you can't box. Can't box. Literally can't box. Done very well to get to where he's done well to improve, but he can't box. World Championships and competing with pro boxing and beating Tommy Fury, not going to happen. Right? And if it does happen, I'll hold my hands up. Right? But it's not going to happen. So stop being manipulated. So the 4 options I'm going to give Baby Geordie are as follows. Number 1, we fight. Right? 10-ounce gloves. Don't care how much you weigh. Don't care how many steroids you take. Don't give a fuck. Right? You just show up. Right? We'll put an event on. And we'll do 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 6 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever you want to do, and I'll knock you out. Don't care how big you are. The weight difference will be ridiculous. I don't care. I'll go up to you and just knock you the fuck out. You won't even land a fucking glove on me. Right? Number 2, you come on my channel, be a man, face up to the shit you've talked, and let's debate it. Right? Number 3, I come on your channel. Right? We debate it. Again, we talk it through. Right? I won't lick your ass. I'm not dependent on you. I'm not financially dependent on you. I can say it how it is. Right? And we'll discuss it. Like men, be a man, and we'll discuss it. Right? Or I'll come to your studio. Wherever that is, I'll ball in by myself. I don't give a fuck how many people you have. You can have all your little YouTube mates there. I'll come by myself. No problem. And we'll discuss it. Right? No problem. Number 4, last one. We spar. You don't want to fight, which I don't think you will. We'll spar. Go to a gym at any time. We'll do a bit of sparring and I'll put a beating on you then. And I'll show you the levels involved with boxing. As I say, I'm not a professional fighter. I don't claim to be, but I understand the levels involved. I've got decent boxing ability, but I'll fuck this guy up. I watched his video, The Rebuild or whatever. I watched some of it. And oh my God, the way he boxes. He's like, He looks like a guy shoveling snow. You know when he's throwing when he's trying to throw uppercuts, it's just like, It looks like old man Marley, you know, from Home Alone, the shoveler with the snow. He's like, That's what he's like, Baby Geordie, when he throws his uppercuts. You are fucking shite, mate. I don't care how fancy the video graphics are, how great the 4K is, blah, blah, blah. What gym you're in, you are fucking shit. So I'm calling you out, mate. This isn't going away. Believe you me, I'm going to react to every video you do about boxing. I know you put some out recently. I'm going to keep exposing you till you have it with me in the ring or in your studio, whatever. I ain't going away because now you've annoyed me, right? Trying to silence me. You won't silence me, mate. Believe me, you picked the wrong fucking person to do that to. Ask anyone who knows me. If I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. And I do not respect a person who claims he reacts to comments and blah, 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 then tries to silence someone who's putting it on him. Why have you silenced me? Because you know I'm exposing you for the shit you talk. So, Baby Geordie, come out, be a man, face what you've done, and let's fight, you fucking pussy. Right, let me know what you think. Does True Geordie have a chance with me in the boxing ring? Let me know, because I'll fuck him up. Let me know what you think about my video. Do you think I'm right? Are you sick of all this manipulation from this YouTube?